Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Cameron with Private Industry Council here with another installment of kind of what I've been doing with you guys since our after school program hasn't been able to run. So today, again, just to kind of refresh on what we've been working on with our career choices budgeting series. Last time we created a budget for a couple occupations. I'm hoping since you watched the last video, you were able to kind of work through maybe a couple occupations that you might have chosen for yourself. Today we're gonna work through kind of a personal assessment in terms of what you might be looking for personally, or what you enjoy, things that you can enjoy or maybe not enjoy that would help you narrow down kind of a career path that will work best for you. So today, the worksheet that's going to be in the link at the bottom, there's going to be a couple links in the bottom today. The first link is going to be an attendance link. So what I need you to do is, if you watch this, I need you to go and click the attendance link, enter the title of the video that you watched and what day you watched it. That kind of helps us keep track of a couple things of who watched it. It just helps us show to keep getting our funding and providing these lovely services to you guys. So again, the second link is going to be the worksheet we're working through today. The worksheet we're working through today is going to be an assessment. It's called the People, Data, Things, Ideas Assessment. So basically what they do is, in each worksheet, there's a few worksheets that you had to work through to kind of bring this assessment all together. So the few things that they look at the categories of questions they ask. They ask like people, they ask questions related to people, they ask questions related to data, they ask questions related to things, and they ask questions related to ideas. Now you'll see later on what I'm getting at behind all this. So basically what they do is, on each one of these groups here, which I'll go through in a second, they throw out these four categories. So first they do an interest assessment in terms of which one of these things are you interested in. So then the next worksheet they work through is like your skills and abilities assessment. So like jobs require different kinds of skills and abilities. In the third worksheet, they work through your personality and temperament. So basically what they'll do is they'll take each one of these categories and they'll ask questions about how they relate to your personality. And the last one we'll work through is the work values one. It's what you value in a career, because what you value in your work and daily work is very important to being satisfied with your work and the work that you do, or else you'll have a career that you don't really enjoy, and that's not really the overall goal. Okay, so let's get started. So the first worksheet, again, we're working through interest assessment. So again, what's going to run through each one of these, the people, data, things, and ideas. So the first thing they're going to do in the first worksheet, what you're going to do is it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you have to work through each section by checking yes or no. So with each question you check yes and no, you're going to want to tally at the bottom of each box how many of each you have. So what you're going to do for people, it's going to ask you questions like, do you like to entertain children? Do you like to teach someone how to do something? Do you like to work with the public? Do you like to lead a group or club activity? Just kind of general questions like that. For data, you're going to see questions like, do you like to research a topic of interest? Do you like to write computer programs? Do you like to balance bank statements? Do you like to work with numbers? Just things like that. It just kind of narrows things down for you. For things, it just asks simple questions. Do you like to bake a cake? Do you like to sew? Do you like to operate a cash register? Do landscaping? Different things like that. Again, it's going to ask you to check yes or no for each one of these things. So it's important to keep a tally for the very end, and I'll show you why in a couple minutes. For ideas, it's going to ask you questions like, do you like to decorate a room? Do you like writing poems? Do you like publishing school yearbooks? Do you like writing lyrics? Different things like that. So what you're going to do is, again, when you're done with each section, you're going to tally up your yes and no check marks. And the one that you circled, whichever section, people, data, things, or ideas you circled the most on, you're going to want to circle that. And it's all going to come together later. I'll show you why. Okay, moving on to the second worksheet. So in each section, this is very similar, except they're not yes or no questions. You're just going to place a check mark next to which skills do you currently have now. So in the people section of this worksheet, do you have the ability to teach, supervise, caring for others, hosting, leading others, listening and counseling, or selling goods? Those are kind of questions you're looking at in this section. So it's important you can place a check mark if you have the ability now, or if it's an ability you would like to learn later. Because because having the aptitude to learn new skills is a very nice skill to have when you're going to look for a job. It's very important to be coachable and teachable, these things as well. So moving on to the data portion of this second worksheet, it's going to ask you if you have the ability to do accounting, record keeping, do research, testing products, investigating problems, things like that. So you're going to keep a tally of how many check marks you have. It's going to help you to figure out which of these core categories you're going to circle at the end of the worksheet. For things, it's going to ask you if you have the ability to repair things, assemble parts, use tools, cooking or baking, operating a sewing machine. So by the sounds of it, for things, it's like creating things, using your hands, that kind of thing. For ideas, it's going to ask, do you have the ability to write stories, draw, invent new products, act or sing, playing a musical instrument, things of that nature. So when you're done with that, it's going to be the same thing as the first worksheet. You're going to tally up all your check marks, and whichever one of the 4 sections, people, data, things, or ideas, has the most check marks, you're going to circle that section. So next worksheet number 3, is a personality temperament assessment. So your personality is a combination of emotional and behavior characteristics that make you different from others. Everybody's their own person. So how you think, feel, and act is influenced by your personality. Different careers appeal to different people, particularly based on your personality traits. So if there are certain things that you like and don't like, it's better to choose a career that you like doing things more on a daily basis, or else again you're not going to enjoy your career, and that leads to a lot of different things that are not good. So when you're answering some of these questions, it'll be the same one as the last one where you're just adding check marks into each box. You're going to want to think about your temperament when you answer the following questions. Which of these situations would you prefer to involve the major part of your workday every day? So we'll start again with people. So it's going to ask you questions like, are you cheerful to those around you? Are you helpful to friends? Are you cooperative in working with the team? Are you outgoing and enjoy meeting new people? Are you a leader? Are you typically an organizer of a group? Those are the kind of questions you'll be asked in people. Again, it's the same thing as the last worksheet. You're going to want to put a bunch of check marks in that box, in each box that applies to you. Next one, we'll move on to data. Data, it's going to ask you questions like, are you good at keeping organized? Are you good at paying close attention to details? Do you prefer to work with numbers? Do you prefer to perform repetitive tasks throughout your day? Do you prefer to work with a set schedule? Do you prefer thinking logically? Things like that. So those are a lot of data-driven questions. So that's the data box. Again, put a check mark in each one of those phrases that what do you think apply to you. For things, questions related to this one: do you like to work with precise rules, very precise standards, things like that? Do you prefer to work with machines and objects rather than working directly with people every day? Do you think you work efficiently? Do you prefer to work alone? Are you resourceful with materials that you use at work every day? Those are very important questions to figure out in that category. So again, you want to tally up all your check marks that you have in that category for each one that relate to you. The last one is ideas. So it's going to ask you questions like, are you curious about how and why things are where they are? You might want to be, maybe if you want to be like a biologist or a researcher, something like that. Do you seek new ways to do things? Are you creative? Or do you prefer to set your own schedule? These are very important questions when you're looking through careers. Just different perks of a job, things like that. So again, for that last one, you're going to want to check off each box that applies to you for ideas, and you're going to want to circle whichever one of these you put the most check marks in. Again, it's very important when I wrap this all up, how this all comes to a head here. Okay, so the last one of the 4 is work values. So job satisfaction comes from having a job that meets your expectations and satisfies your needs. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a list of different job values that you're going to rank 1 to 10, with one being the most and 10 being the least important. So choosing an occupation again that meets all your work values is important. So the ones it's going to have us work with here are adventure, prestige, and I'm going to go over what each one of these mean after I'm done. Creativity, helping others, high earnings, again, you'll have to excuse my handwriting, it's not the best. I never got the best handwriting grades when I was in school, but that's not why we're here. Variety of duties, independence, exercising leadership, and then there's a couple of them at the end. They're going to ask you to make your own. So, after I go through these, I'm going to come up with two of my own that we'll use just for the purpose of this. So, again, we'll go through each one. So, adventure kind of means working in a job that requires you to take risks. So, maybe if you like working on your own, things like that, that might be something to tie up there. Prestige means having an important position. So, say if you're just starting out, maybe working in a position that has a high ability to move up, promote from within. Maybe if that's something you value. Creativity, finding new ways to do things. If you work in a position that your job is to kind of research and find new ways to do things, maybe that's something you'll value. Helping others, working and assisting and caring for other people. Maybe that would be like some kind of social work or hospitals, things like that. High earnings, being able to be paid well. Being able to pay well and paid well for the standard of living that you want. Kind of maybe evaluating, like I said, when we were working on budgets last video about seeing what you enjoy, seeing the cost of different things. Maybe that would help you decide what position and what career works best for you. Variety of duties, having several things to do. Do you like, that goes back to the last one, the last worksheet, the worksheet we just went over. Say if do you like doing the same thing over and over, or do you like having multiple things to do at once? Which one do you prefer? That's all part of you. Again, everybody's their own person. So independence, deciding how to do your work. Do you like working for yourself? Maybe you want to pursue like maybe having your own business, or do you prefer like working with somebody else, but having somebody supervise you? Exercising leadership, do you value being able to direct and influence others? That would be something worth thinking. Do you maybe if you want to like run for a government position or run for office, and being able to show your leadership abilities to a crowd of people, whether it be a city, town, maybe you want to run for president of the United States someday. That would be something that you would definitely value. So again, this is 8 things, and for the one thing I'm going to put work-life balance. Now, work-life balance, if you don't know what that is, that's something, say if you enjoy maybe having a typical Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job, maybe that gives you the flexibility to do other things in your life. That's something people might value in life. So that another thing that I'm trying to think of a good example to work with here. Let's say flexibility. Do you enjoy, working at your own pace, making your own hours? That might be something that you value. Again, so we'll work with these 10. What it's asking you to do here is prioritizing your list 1 to 10, with number 1 being the most. So I'll just make a mock one here. So say for example we want, let's say we want variety of duties, number 1. Exercising leadership, number 2. Let's go with helping others, number 3, 4. I'm just kind of plugging in place, and you're encouraged to do this on your own. for what you're supposed to do to kind of find your own career. For the purpose of just working my way through this with you guys, I'm just doing what I want to do here. So 5, let's say work-life balance, flexibility 6, adventure 7, prestige 8, high earnings 9, independence 10. Okay, so again, variety of duties is what I put as number 1. So that's going to be my highest value when I go to fill these in. So what it's going to ask you at the bottom of the worksheet is to fill those in. So number 1 is the most important. So we're going to start with variety, and we're going to work fill in all the way down to, again, for this example, independence is our least favorite. So we're going to start with 1 and end with 10. Okay, so that's worksheet number 4. Okay, so here we are. We're number 5. We're on our last assessment. We're on our assessment summary. Okay, so we'll go back to our main stuff here. So for the first one, our interest, what it's going to ask you is it's going to say which one. My interests are mainly centered around which one. So which one of these 4 did you circle with the most yeses on in the first box? So we'll say it was, again, this is an example that I'm just going to work through this with you guys. Let's see you put data as the most yeses, okay? So we'll say that was our number 1. Okay, so we'll say we put data as our number 1. Number 2, skills and abilities. Which one did your skills and abilities mainly center around? Say number 2, say it was ideas. Okay? So for temperament, your temperament, I think of myself as being what type of person? Say you did ideas again. Okay? So number 4, it's going to say total from 1 to 3. You have 1 data and you have 2 in ideas. So then what it's going to do, for the very last question, it's going to ask you to write in what your top 3 work values are. So your top 3 work values for this example is variety of leadership, exercising leadership, and helping others. So you're going to put that at number 5. Now what you're going to do is, when you're done with all this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to kind of look back through and see which ones you selected yes to, which boxes you checked, things of that nature, and really kind of narrow down when you're looking through career choices and career clusters, like my second video of this series was, and just kind of look through what skills and what things that you like to do and don't like to do are involved with certain careers, matching up your values, things of that nature. All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for tuning in. Again, there's going to be a link. The very first link at the bottom of the description is going to be the attendance link. It's very important that you click on that, fill out what your name was, which video you watched, this one. I'm going to call it the People, Data, Things, Ideas Assessment. That's the name of the video. So again, I'm Cameron. I'm with PIC, the Afterschool programs. Thanks for signing on again, and just remember to fill out that attendance link so we can figure out who watched it, so we can continue to keep doing amazing stuff like this. Thanks, guys.